Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Experience. I am here with Joshua Robinson from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Super excited to have you on, Josh. I don't know a whole lot about you, so I'm excited to hear your story and how you landed at eXp. We spoke briefly about how you hadn't been with a previous brokerage, but had been recruited, I guess, by a couple of people. So I'm excited to hear your story.
Michelle, I appreciate you having me on today. So, excuse me. So the reason why I actually went with EXP was because when I was getting recruited by a bunch of other companies, everybody looked stressed out, right? The one person that came I saw with EXP, the first person I saw with EXP, he was just super cool. Like he had like a Hawaiian shirt, like shorts, was riding a motorcycle. I was like,
Laid back,
yeah,
sounds
yeah. I
like.
was like, damn, like I want that. And then like fast forward to when I actually signed on, I signed on with my friend because like I saw her do an open house. She was just like excited. She was happy. She was just relaxed. I was like, okay, same thing. Like EXP is the chill brokerage, I guess, because everybody else is stressed out. And so I'm like, I don't want that. I do not want that.
Awesome. So how long have you been a realtor?
This is my fourth year. Fourth year.
Amazing. Yeah. Awesome. Um, so what was one of the, obviously you probably did a little bit more background kind of work with EXP before you decided to join, I would imagine. What did that look like? Like what piqued your interest other than, these realtors being pretty chill and laid back and seem to be less stressed than other realtors?
So for me, when I did a little back end research, again, it went back to the happiness level, like because if I want to leave, I was gonna fire my job anyways. So if I was gonna fire my job, I couldn't fire my job to be a place full of miserable people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of other people, it seemed like they were kind of fake, and so that was just kind of the thing, like that, it, EXP at the time when I signed on, it wasn't like the most glamorous. Like it wasn't like everybody's like, oh man, we're over here, we're this. It was just like, okay, like I'd see a few EXP signs and I was like, hell yeah, that's enough for me. The social proof was there, and
Yep.
then like I said, just making just double checking that people weren't like just sorry, I had a phone call, that people weren't all like stressed out and angry. I'm like, that's the move right there.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, being not that um that you weren't in real estate prior to, so it's not like you obviously know that the job indicate or like has stressful situations and there is stress involved obviously, but you're like obviously these people have either learned or are not dealing with as much stress as these other realtors.
Absolutely. Plus, like, not everybody's all over your shoulder all the time. Every 5 minutes, you're not you, like for the majority of us, when we like leave a job, right? We're used to having like some micromanagement and all this stuff, right? I don't like that. I hate that. I
Me too.
will. Yeah, I can't like if you want me to be like somebody who does a lot, like stand back and just let me do my thing. But if you
Yeah.
want me to be somebody who does the least, then stay over me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's hard for me. I know many people in the real estate industry. We're all, I wouldn't say we're all, but would say a majority of us are not good employees because we want that freedom and the flexibility to, not have that ceiling on our heads with, what we can make in a year. And I love one of the things that I love about EXP is that you have so much freedom and flexibility with your brand and how you can brand yourself. I mean, anybody that's with another brokerage, I mean, we're all with a brokerage of some kind. So we have that brand umbrella. But I feel like EXP gives you so much flexibility with your image and your brand. I love that.
Absolutely. What was one of the things that made you join?
So I was with a brokerage called Exit Realty. I don't know if there's any
We've got
down
it.
there.
Yeah, we've got it.
But for me, it was, you know, I first of all didn't even know what a cap was. So I was very ignorant to, like, I'd been with them for 6.5 years. was very ignorant to even kind of being open to other brokerage opportunities. eXp definitely wasn't one in our area. But I was having some disagreements with my broker at the time, and my coach had said, maybe you should start looking at other opportunities, like other brokerages. And I was like, I'm surprised this, exit isn't tattooed on me somewhere. Like I am I'm loyal to this company, and they're like my family. And he just kind of coached me through just a conversation about but this is what's best for you, not what's best for, the brokerage. And I didn't see it I saw it as I'm loyal, but then he kind of brought me down to thinking what is best for you though? And then he had mentioned eXp and how they only have a $16,000 cap. And I was like, what's a cap? I don't understand that.
Right.
I couldn't wrap my head around it, because I was like, what do you mean there's a cap? At exit, it's 70-30 for most part, unless they've made some back end deal, until you hit 100,000 gross. And then once you're at that 100,000 gross, you go 90-10 indefinitely. So there was no cap. So I rightfully did not understand what a cap was. And I was like, oh, okay. So they stop taking from you at a certain point once you've paid that 16,000. And then you're 100% commission. I was like, man, what have I been doing? Not being open to these other opportunities. But eXp wasn't in my community. So it was in neighboring
Yeah.
areas, but not in Belleville, where I was, prominently working at the time. And so I called a girl that I went to high school with, and I said, hey, Michelle, her name was Michelle too. And I was like, tell me about this eXp thing. I know that you're with them. You're the only person that I know who is with them. And so we had a conversation. She sent me a video with Brent Gove, and I watched it in the car that day. And then I was like, man, that sounds way too good to be true. Obviously, driving and listening was not a good idea, because I've missed the catch. There's got to be a catch. So I came home and I watched it again, and I was like,
Still couldn't
man,
find a catch.
there is why does this sound way too good to be true?
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually asked my fiance at the time, husband now, I was like, I need you to watch this video with me, to help me comprehend what I'm watching, because this sounds so good. And he's like, Michelle, you are at the top of your career. You've been number one in this office for however many years. Why are you even considering making a move at this point in your career? And I was like, because I feel like I've been exposed to something that I need to actually know whether this is a good opportunity for me or not. And we actually had an argument about it, because he was like, I'm not watching this. I don't support this idea. I think it's silly. And long story short, by the end of the night, he had sat down and watched it with me, and wife for the win. And and he was like, wow, okay, I understand your point of view. It does really sound too good to be true. He's like, leave it with me for 24 hours. I will find the dirt. And he's like the king of YouTube, right? So he was like, leave it with me for 24 hours, Michelle. Do not make a move until I give you the go ahead. And he knows how I operate, because when something's right for me, or when something in my gut just feels right, I make that move, right? So by the end of the night, I had already decided that I was moving. I had already ordered my custom license plates that night. So it was not even 12 hours. I was like, man, this is the right move. I just felt super good about it. And yeah, long story short, actually today is my 4-year anniversary.
Well, congrats.
Yeah, thanks. I actually didn't know until I got an email, and it was like, you've been with us for 4 years. And it's like, wow, I had no idea. I knew it was in February. I just wasn't sure what day. But yeah, so long story short, I actually had to leave my local real estate board and move to a neighboring board, because we didn't have eXp here to open. And I was really motivated to be able to have the opportunity to open it up here in our local board. So I did move. to the neighboring board for a little while until I had enough agents within my organization to kind of open up Belleville. And it's
Oh,
just been
cool.
kind of like a ripple effect since then. And I mean, it's all history now, but the biggest regret I have is just not knowing about this opportunity sooner. And I always say that because I'm like, man, I wish I would have just known this information or at least been open to it.
Yeah.
So thankful to my coach David, who had said, Michelle, maybe you should look at other brokerages, because never in a million years would I have ever even considered that thought. In the first year that I moved over in 2021, I saved $122,000 by,
Holy crap.
yeah, it's significant. And like when there is no cap, when there is a cap or sorry, when there is no cap involved and you just have that revolving money just being slipped into your brokerage,
Yep.
that money adds up. And
Oh
that
yeah.
is scary. Like I haven't looked at numbers since I left. After that first year, I calculated, just for peace of mind, like, was this a good move? I knew it was a good move right from the beginning, because every paycheck that I got, I was calculating what I would have paid with exit. And then I was like, I would have given them like $2,000 or $3,000 on this paycheck. Like, it's insane to me. um and I've had a couple of agents from that office come over and they say the same thing. The first couple of deals they do, they actually calculate like what it would have been, and they're just like, how could I have been so silly?
Right, right. That's one of the things that allured me too, because so sure there's a cap, right? And some people have like a big issue with that. But the thing is you just gotta think like, okay, how much do I gotta sell to get rid of that cap?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to see yourself on the other side of that. Like I think the fact that you were willing to take a risk, to be like that first person shows that like you were ready to be a trailblazer. And that's one of the things I liked about EXP was the fact that like they were the innovators of the space, you know?
Yeah.
Like you had like your Kellers, you had your Coldwells, your exits, like you name XYZ banana brokerage, right? And they were the ones who came in and just disrupted like the way that they were actually doing it.
Yeah.
The fact that EXP like allows you to be able to grow pretty quickly is
Yeah.
amazing. Especially when like if you're on the solo side, right? When you're on
Oh,
the
definitely.
solo side, you get the opportunity to meet a whole bunch of other cool people and be like, hey, would you mind if I do an open house for you? And
Yeah.
you
I
can
love that.
elevate really, really quickly because like I said, most of us we're not high strung, right? We're not like, oh my gosh, like super credit hogs. So if you ask like to do an open house, most people are like, hell yeah, go ahead, right?
Yeah.
And that gives the new guy the opportunity to get exposure, get experience, and a lot of practice hits. So that when it's game time for them, it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was one of the issues where I was butting heads with my broker at the time. Was they didn't want to allow us to be on the DDF feed like for our listings. And I was like, that's not doing our sellers a service. Like that's doing them a disservice if we're not allowing other realtors to promote these listings. I was like, that's so many eyeballs that aren't potentially going to see our listings because you want all the leads to your listing. Like that's stupid in my
That,
opinion. And
that's how I see it. Because
that was literally the catalyst to me moving over. And with exit, they do have a residual income model where it's single level. And yeah, it's $10,000 per person once they hit that 100,000 gross, you know. But when you look at one individual in eXp, they could potentially be worth $16,000 just on their own, not to mention the growth, not just wide, but depth. And I think with eXp having a 7-level compensation plan, it is so much smarter. And when you look at the long game and the sustainability of it, you can only recruit, if that's what you want to call it, so many agents on your front line. Whereas there's agents like there's the Jay Kinders and the Al Stasics and the Michael Reeses. That's the line that I'm part of. And they've got 7,000+ agents. There is no way as an individual agent you would ever be able to bring in that many agents on your front line. It's just not even, you couldn't even be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like it's like going back to like the more of the collaboration piece too. It's like, okay, so you're in Canada, right? I'm in
Yeah.
New Mexico. It's a part of the US because a lot of people don't know that. We're right in between Arizona and Texas. Just gotta say that.
Yeah.
But but, but if I had somebody who was gonna go to Canada and who wanted to actually like buy or sell with you, right? We could do that real quick. It's a
Yeah.
quick phone call. Just hey, Michelle, I got somebody that's gonna be in your area. They're looking. They're actually gonna get out of the US. They want to see what it's like over there. Could you
Mhm.
do this? Can you take care of them? Not a problem. Like the network is crazy.
Yeah.
Versus some of these other places, you gotta if we wanted to do business like that, it's not as linear, and then there'd be so many extra fees on top of that to do business
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, and there's workplace. I know that I know we're transitioning to Slack Pro, but workplace, we have referral groups in there. And I actually did an interview with another gentleman. And he was like, I have actually watched the referral groups, and it's almost a referral per minute every single day. Like that's
Hmm.
how much business is overturning and going through these, workplace groups, because we're a global network. We are in, I don't know, 34 countries or 27 countries. I don't know.
Oh, a
Which
ton, a ton.
yeah, we're all over the globe, right? So the opportunity, like if I had an aunt that moved to Chile or something, I think
Yeah,
we're in Chile, and was moving there, I mean, I could do that referral to an agent there, and it's a, easy peasy kind of thing. Like the opportunities are endless, and being able to, and then say my aunt, for example, wants to become a realtor there, then my organization is now growing in Chile. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
such an amazing global opportunity for growth.
Exactly. And I think that's what one of the things I think that, like I said, it attracted me. Like there wasn't up front, there wasn't a whole lot of research that I did. I was like, you guys aren't stressed out? I need that. I need that. Right.
Yeah.
Then after I got to see a little bit more into it, then it was just like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like I don't gotta pay all these fees for an office that I don't want to be at. Perfect.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like, hold up, I can have a meeting with a client over a beer. Oh, of course I'm gonna do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
All the more
nobody's
reason to like build that relationship too, right? Like,
exactly. It's like, hold up, nobody's gonna care. Of course, you're not like an idiot when you do it, but it's just one of those things where you have like such so much less things to like overthink about. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because everybody's established and they know, like, okay, hey, look, here's your foundation, take it and run with it.
yeah.
Great.
And one of my goals with Exit was I, had a long-term goal of owning a franchise. And I remember talking to the regional owner at one point, and he was like, well, all of the regions in your area have already been purchased. So you could potentially own somewhere. I think at the time it was Port Hope, or I can't remember the other place. But I was like, and this is also going to cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars to open. You know what I mean? So for
Holy
me to
crap.
be able to be with eXp, I don't even have to get my broker's license. I can literally build my team without actually being a broker. So that
Hmm.
was one plus. Number two, I personally have an organization, or I could see it as a brokerage of my own in one way or another, of 10 agents. I
Oh,
didn't have
nice.
to spend I didn't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to open up the franchise or purchase the region or however it even works.
Hmm.
This is an opportunity for us to be able to build something that has the structure and everything behind it and the support without the financial burden of hundreds of thousands of dollars of opening up, a franchise or whatever. Like we basically own our own franchises. We are the owners of the company. And that's what I love about eXp is it's such a And there's lots of copycat brokerages out there, but they can't offer what eXp offers.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've been seeing that a lot too. Like there's a very popular new one that's popping out there. Everybody seems to be going to, and that's cool and all, but I'm just like, I'm still not gonna go. And the
Yeah.
reason is because I've got such a solid support system through the local like higher ups that it's like, why leave?
Yeah.
They make sure, like, if something were to happen, I know that they've got my back, they've got my best interest, and they actually look out.
I actually interviewed a gentleman. It was, we posted the interview a few weeks ago, and he had been with different brokerage, came to eXp, left eXp, and now he's back. So you know what I mean? Like it's, it's not for everybody.
Hmm.
That's for sure. You know what I mean? But shiny object syndrome really does get people because they want to be the early adopters that become the Al Stasics and the Jay Kinders, and they think it's going to be super easy to, be able to build these organizations of thousands of agents and do it quickly. Well, we just had, I think her name is Spring. What was her name? That she just came over from Real, and she literally like
Yeah.
built a 6-figure, um, residual income through Real, and I think she had 1,400 agents. And she looked at the big picture and was like, long-term sustainability, long-term, this is great short term. She's already built it.
Right,
It's
right.
great. It's wonderful. But she's thinking long term, it's actually better for me to cut that, to cut the ties there and rebuild, because in the long game it's actually going to be more fruitful for her. You know what I mean? So there
Absolutely.
are big agents that did get that shiny object syndrome and go over to like the new and the upcoming and the shiny object brokerage. But when you actually take time to actually consume like what it is that we have and what we have to offer, when you look at it long term, because I'll be honest, when Real came out, I took their business model, I took eXp's business model, I threw it into Chat GPT, and I was like, analyze both of these real estate brokerage models. Obviously there was a lot more guts in
Yeah. Oh
between,
yeah. It's gonna
but
get
I
really
was
in
like,
depth.
from a long-term sustainability, if I'm going to continue to be in real estate for the next, say, 20 years or something, long-term, which brokerage is actually going to be a better fit for me personally based on these goals and these, parameters. And it'll tell you based on what your goals are, like what is going to be a better fit for you. And so you don't even have to be recruited by somebody or have somebody make mention of it to you, because you can just go into the Chat GPT or AI or whatever you're using and get a non-biased opinion of what is going to be good for you long term. I mean,
Exactly.
when people talk about being recruited, I actually had somebody say something the other day, and I thought, this is brilliant. All of the NHL, NFL, NBA, or whatever, all of these high athletic corporations, they recruit all of their top talent.
Yes, they
Like
do.
the top talent, they are recruited. And that is a good thing. Like that is a compliment in itself. And so now if I'm talking to another agent, I say, like, look, this isn't a recruitment conversation. However, look at this as being seeked out because of the value that you have, and that it should be a compliment to you that I'm, wanting to potentially partner and collaborate with you in business, because I don't just go out and try to recruit any agent. That's not my prerogative with this. I want good
Right.
producing agents who care about real estate the same way I care about it, want to build relationships and want to not just be that transactional real estate agent, people that actually care about their clients. So, I don't just kind of go out to anybody and, hey, come join me at eXp. Like that's not, but people should see that as a compliment. So if somebody from eXp has has approached you, there's some sort of value in you that they see that you should, take as a compliment for sure.
Quality over quantity will always win, like for
Yeah.
sure. Right. Now, let me ask you this too. So, while I was being recruited, even after I got licensed, right, there was another company that recruited me, but they had like such a long commitment, and I'm a little commitment phobic. I don't know how it is in Canada, but like, they were like, oh yeah, it's 3-year minimum commitment with us. And
I
yeah, oh
no
gosh.
way.
Oh hell no.
It's like, I'm gonna
Hell
put you
no.
and you're gonna join us and you're gonna be put in this cage. It's like,
For
no
3
way.
years. For 3 years. And then they have when they do open houses, it's like 10 of them at an open house. I'm like, for thank you.
That is so weird.
For that
Why?
was my face. I'm like, for what? I mean, it could just be me or me and a lender or something. Like, I don't need 10, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we could be very effective and cut it down to 2.
Yeah.
2 is like for a huge property, right?
Yeah.
For like over 3,000 square feet, like on sitting on like an acre plus, then yeah, okay, cool. But otherwise, nah,
Yeah.
two is too many. Two is a crowd. Two is a
Yeah.
crowd. Two is stepping on toes.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would almost, in my opinion, it would almost be like if you were the buyer walking into an open house with 10 agents, I would be very intimidated and I probably wouldn't even feel comfortable walking around. Like,
Yeah,
truthfully.
it's gonna be department store like salesperson following you for, hey, how can I help you? What can I do
Yeah.
for you? But
Yeah.
everywhere you turn, it'd be like a damn it'd be like a haunted house.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It'd be like a haunted house full of realtors, and then it's literally like every SNL sketch where people think that that's how we act, but in
Yeah.
real life,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, the
know?
commitment part, I would not be interested in that for sure. That would be
Exactly.
that would be a red flag for me.
Huge. It was a huge red flag. It's like, hold on, why are you so concerned that I'm here for that long? If I like it, I'll be here for until I feel like leaving,
Yeah,
if
I'll
I'm
be a
going my own or
lifer.
not. But because I'm one of those people where like if I like something and then I'm not trying to leave like that, you know what I mean? A lot of people they switch brokerages like they switch shirts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see every couple of months on social media, guess where I'm at now? I
Yeah.
just made it. I made a big decision. I saw the light and I had to leave. Like it's like
Yeah.
damn. Like after a while, it can't be every brokerage. It has to be something in you that's making you leave that much.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What advice would you give an agent who is kind of on the fence about joining eXp?
All right, I'm gonna try not to be sarcastic, but I would
Be
say
sarcastic, just be yourself.
okay. I mean, look, if you like money for sure, you probably want to come over, right?
Yep.
If you don't like being micromanaged, you should probably come over. If you like the time freedom, but also having a good support, then you should probably come over. Not only can you learn like on the fly, like because we actually have modules on like tons and tons and tons of hours that you can listen to, you can watch, you can interact with, and just things that make you a better realtor all around, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like a self-starter, it's definitely for you. If you want to go the team route, go ahead. Like that's fine. If you
Yep.
want to be solo and be free, even like that's cool too. There's really not like a downside to do it. I think that if you're one of those people who are willing to find some answers and willing to just act, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's a great time to come over.
And I think too that some hesitations that people have is this cloud-based brokerage. How do you like what kind of support is there for you? And I've had two great examples the last 2 weekends. So
Yeah.
last Sunday, I had an issue with an offer and I called the broker. We always have two brokers on call during the
Okay.
weekends. And it was Sunday morning. I was actually on my way to church and I was like, oh, should I call them and ask them now? Okay, I'll just call and see if I can get a hold of somebody and I'll talk to them later this afternoon if they get my message. And he answered right away. There was no leaving voicemails, no nothing. I had a quick, less than 5 minute conversation with him and I got my answer. And then yesterday, or the day before yesterday, maybe it was even Friday. My days are all messed up. But
Same. That's
over the
because you're busy.
weekend, I had another question about just mutual release and new offer. And it was a little bit complicated, bit of a loaded question. And again, I was like, okay, I'm going to call the broker on call. Didn't have to leave a voicemail because he literally answered his phone. And I think it was like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And I had my answer and away I went. So if you think that there is no support available to you, you are the furthest from the truth, because there is so much support available to you. Yes, it's over the phone. You're not walking into an office to speak to somebody in real life. But I mean, there's accessibility to anybody that you need pretty well 24/7.
Wouldn't you
Like,
say that kind of streamlines the process too?
yeah, I think so.
I think it cuts down lag time. You're not waiting forever. Like with us too, you can pop into to World.
Yes.
You can pop into World. Somebody's available for you. You can do a call. You could do a text. And here's the other thing too. It doesn't always have to be the broker. You can reach across from you at somebody who's at a similar level. They probably
Yep.
have the answer for you, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's there's ways. There's ways to
And
get to
and
most
that's the thing with the compensation model, and even outside of the compensation model, because there's been lots and lots of agents that I have connected with that I've had support and give support from, who have not even been anywhere near my 7 levels, or even inside of my organizational line. These have been people outside of that line, but you have 7 people that are heavily invested in your success, and are financially aligned with you. So you have so many people available to you to help you. I think one of the important things that you have to consider when joining eXp is making sure that you are aligning with the right crew and the right tribe, because
Yes.
there are people in eXp that probably wouldn't, I wouldn't want to join necessarily. So you just need to make sure that you're aligning with an individual who the support is going to be there for you. But I mean, you have so much support. I couldn't even I keep posting stories and reels about every time I need help with something and how quickly I get answers, because it's debunking these myths.
I think that's a great strategy. If you had five quick 5 of your quick reasons, right, why a new person would want to sign on, what would they be?
Your income, obviously there's no cap
Right,
or
right.
whatever. You have the freedom and flexibility to have your own image, your own brand. Of course, we still are with eXp, but I feel like we have less restrictions with how we can, brand ourselves and
Very
put
much.
ourselves out there. You can build this on a global level. Gives me all the more reason to travel. You know what
Right.
I mean? Send me to wherever in the world and I'll, go meet with some realtors. And I just think there's so many reasons, but I think when people say it's not about the money, I think that's a crock of BS, because it is about money in some way, shape, or form. And if it's not about money, and you're say a broker owner or a team leader or somewhere, then it should be about money for your agents. Because if you know that there's a better opportunity out there for your agents to be able to make more money, you're doing them a disservice by not exposing them to the eXp model. And so I see that right now with some local brokerages around here, where I'm thinking this is not what's best for your agents. This is not, your agents could be so much further off being with eXp because of the way that the model is set out, that
Hmm.
it's not doing them a service by just keeping them under your wing and away from other opportunities, right? So I just think that overall the innovation for me, the innovation and the continuous evolvement being that they continuously are evolving with new technology, and they're always forward facing with what is happening in the real estate world too. Like Leo and Glenn, they're always hitting everything face on and tackling the issues at hand. And we need the leadership that is like that, so that that's our foundation, and our foundation with our company is absolutely amazing, I think.
I think so too. And funny enough, right? We got connected through workplace.
Yes.
So it just goes to show, like, you can be outside of the country, right, on totally on opposite sides, right, and still make a connection.
Yeah.
And now we see each other on Instagram, we see each other on
Mhm.
Facebook, and
Yeah.
it all started from workplace. So it's
Yep.
just like, why wouldn't you want that type of like flexibility and freedom to be able to meet and connect with other people very easily and efficiently?
Yeah, yeah. And the relationships and everything. I mean, like I've got, realtors in my school community that I help, which I'll send you an invite for that. But like there's so many different ways that you could connect with people outside of just real estate, but building relationships and like just doing life and sharing life with these people too. Like it's not some of the people that I know have become really great friends, and it's only been because of eXp. Otherwise, I would have never met them, would have never known them. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you have to look at it in that sense too. Like it's not just adding to your career. Like this is not just building your career. This is building you as a human being and as it's helping you become a better person. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
because of the people that you surround yourself with. And of course there's good agents at other brokerages, but I mean, you align yourself with the people that, you're aligned with. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that we can't miss an opportunity to make a new connection, and for that's positive. You know what I mean? If we're missing an opportunity to make a positive connection, then we're kind of going through life with our eyes closed.
Yeah. And there's so many opportunities for the referrals like we've already talked about, but the referral opportunities are huge. I've sent my a couple of my team members, somebody's posted in workplace and been like, "Hey, I'm looking for somebody here." And I tagged my team and been like, "Hey, Jeff can help you out." And he's
Yeah,
gotten deals from that. I mean, I don't need anything for doing that, but that's me helping out my team and being able to help supply them with leads and stuff too, right? So
it's just that easy. Yeah,
so yeah, such an amazing platform. The thing is people at least ought to owe it to themselves to at least look at the model, at least look at what you're saying no to, because what you're saying no to may be full of all these myths and misconceptions and all the things. Look at the facts. Plug your numbers in, get talking with somebody at eXp. Just because you talk to somebody at eXp doesn't mean that you have to align with them. Like Josh, you said you met with some guy in the Hawaiian shirt and you never ended up aligning with him specifically with eXp. It doesn't matter. Like get your numbers in and look at how is this going to look different for me if I were to move brokerages, because I know that if I had no intentions of building a team with eXp and I went from exit to eXp, I was giving myself a 10% raise by doing nothing different.
oh wow.
Absolutely nothing. It was a 10% raise regardless. So I was always going to hit that 100,000 gross. That was it's just the amount of volume that I do.
Right,
So
right.
all that 10%, that rolling, evolving 10% that was always going to exit, finally then moved into the 100% with eXp. You know what I mean? Plus Icon, because Icon gives you that $16,000 trophy. I keep meaning to bring it up here, but it's
You iconed already?
yeah, I have Icon. Yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
Congrats.
so when people have that trophy of their platinum awards or whatever, I can say like this trophy is actually worth $16,000. Like it actually has value to it. It's not just a trophy. Like there's it's actually worth something. You know what I mean? And so just the opportunity to earn the Icon award in itself for people who are high producing agents. I mean, at the end of the day, like just look at the numbers. That's all I have to say.
Right. I swear, sometimes if you want to have your phone ring, just do something else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
um, but yeah, that's like I said, I think that that's one of the most amazing things about like with us being with EXP, right? Is the fact that there are so many different levels that you can reach, and even if you're just starting out, you're still starting out way higher than you would at somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Like some
Yeah.
other places you're starting out at like a 60-40 or 70-30, but
Yeah.
with us, you're starting out at an 80-20.
Yeah.
It's like, what? That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The thing is if you're not a producing agent and you're only selling 1 or 2 homes a year and you could go to a flat rate brokerage or whatever, you're probably better off there. Like if you're not actually producing and you're not actually selling a number of homes, then that's probably going to be the better place for you unless you really like the environment and the people and what you can learn with eXp, because I do know that Frank, who I was talking about, who was
Yeah,
with eXp and then left and then came back, he said even if the splits were different, he said I still would have come back. Even if the splits weren't as good, I still would have come back because of this just was the right fit for me for family wise, environment wise. He said this was just a better fit for me. So
absolutely.
for some people, that's super important. And if that's important to you, then you have endless people to connect with and build that with.
Absolutely. And I think for me, or I'll put it like this, one of the biggest things that I think why somebody would want to join or should join, period, is because unlike a lot of other brokerages, they don't stunt your growth.
That's right.
If you wanted to do multiple cities, states, counties, countries, you could.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna tell you not to. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
like you can refer things out, but with us, you don't have to. As long as you got the license for these other places and locations, you can do it all. You
Yeah.
could be worldwide if you want to, and
Yeah.
nobody's gonna stop you.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the no ceiling. When I think of, I just actually had this thought, but like when you think of a cloud-based brokerage, you think of like the sky is the limit. And that's exactly what eXp is offering, is like there is no ceiling on you.
Mm-mm.
The sky is the limit. Like I don't know, that's a cool analogy with the cloud-based brokerage thing. Because you have so many opportunities to do so many different things and to however you want to do it.
It's a good thing to have your head in the cloud,
Yeah.
literally, because then when you have your head in the cloud, it's limitless.
Yeah.
Stop thinking so realistic. Like a lot of people are gonna say you need to think realistic. You need to stick in one pond and like hell no. There's oceans, there's rivers, there's streams, there's lakes.
Yep.
Why would you just stick in one little puddle?
Yeah.
Go do it all. You know.
And look at it long term too, because I think with these new brokerages, these copycat brokerages that are coming out, I think if that's shiny object syndrome, like I had said earlier, and they're not thinking to look at it long term, they're just thinking short term success, easy, easy growth, easy success short term. No, look at this long term, because even with the stock options and the ownership with the company, agent equity, I mean, even that as an opportunity. I mean, I've pulled several thousands of dollars out a couple of years ago, 2 years ago now, that I didn't even remember that I had. And I had
Yeah,
like
that stuff comes in
40,
handy.
40 or 53,000, or I don't remember how much it was, but it's like it was a savings account that I had that I didn't even know I had. It's such an amazing opportunity. I don't know about you, but as a realtor, when, I have spending issues sometimes and I like to
Yes,
travel. So I don't always, I'm not always the best saver. But
true.
having that there, I'm just like, man, it's such a no brainer. It's
It's
gone
a
before you even know it's gone. You know what I mean?
it's a painless saving mechanism, right? Like
Yeah.
like because I've done it too. I'm not gonna lie, I've done it too. Especially like when if you're kind of in between, or you just like, oh crap, something came up, and then you just suddenly you look and you're like, oh yeah, duh, I've got this much put away,
Yeah.
that you didn't even think about, and it
Yeah.
doesn't always have to come from you generating and you selling. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many ways to win. Like here, it's just we could go on all day about
I
how
was
many
just
ways
going
you
to
can
say that
win.
we could literally hang out here all day and chat about it. And I mean, like I said, it's not for everybody. You have to do your homework. You have to align it with your personal goals and your personal vision for your career in real estate. But I even have an agent right now that's about to go on mat leave, and she's just parked her license in the referral program so that she can still send me business or somebody else on the team or whoever business,
Hmm.
and she's able to refer that but she's not paying high fees with our, our local boards and all those things with trying to keep up with those payments, right? She's just parked it in the referral pond, or however you want to say it.
Yep.
And she can still do business just through the referral program. So for agents even that are wanting to retire, say, this is such a perfect opportunity for them to be able to still generate income and not have to worry about all those reoccurring monthly and quarterly and annual fees with the boards and stuff.
Oh yeah, and I say if you like, please don't come over if you don't like freedom. You don't like having a little flexibility. You don't like being able to have options in what you want to do and how you want to actually pursue the business. If you don't want to be able to do your business your way, this is going to be a terrible place to
Yeah,
be.
if you want to be led, and you want to be, what's the word, where you need to be told what to do, how to do, and when to do it, then
Micromanaged.
yeah, micromanaged. If you want to be micromanaged, this is not the place for you. And
Exactly.
as realtors, it is hard. I will be honest. It is hard to have that discipline sometimes when,
Hmm.
that's something that you learn over time, and there's so many resources with eXp for you to learn how to do that. But yeah, if you're not great with, if you'd rather just have somebody like feeding you leads or whatever, then yeah, it's probably maybe not best for you, but we can feed you leads still.
I mean, you can, or we can teach you how to get them yourself too.
Yeah,
All day. Like,
exactly.
if you ask anybody who's been in the game for over a year, they can tell you like, hey, so sure you can pay for it, but if you don't have the money, like somebody will show you, hey, this is how I did it when I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Or even connecting with people who have done, some of the blacklist lead gen systems, right? It's like, do not do this. This was my experience with them.
yes,
And then you can actually kind of sift through all the lead opportunities and be able to say, like, so and so had a, great success with this, or this seems to be the one that everybody's using and is being successful with, instead of going out and just kind of going blindly trying different lead programs and then just wasting all this money, because it's very, very easy as realtors to just throw money at stuff and hope that it sticks.
yeah.
You
Oh
might as
God,
well go out the
yes,
door. You might as well drive down the road and just throw your money out the window. Like, there are things that I'm realizing now after COVID, things that I was paying for and stuff that was not useful to me, but I was just throwing money at it because I thought it was good to have or whatever. You realize if you pay attention, which I have had to pay attention the last year or two, it's like, I didn't even need that. Like,
true,
I don't
very true.
know. But there's so many people that are chomping at us to say, hey, it's $2,000 for this. Or I've had this guy calling me for the last month about putting my ad on a local foldable map for my community.
Oh, they got that there. That's cool.
Yes, yes. And I mean, yeah, it's cool. And I did it last year, but there is no return on investment. That is
None.
just subliminal recognition, I guess, or whatever. Somebody is not going to look at a map and then say, I'm going to use her to be my realtor. Chances are very, very slim, anyways. Yes, it's great for recognition or whatever, but at the end of the day, that $2,000 could have been spent running a meta ad or a Facebook ad where it could have seen hundreds of thousands of eyeballs seeing your
Yes.
ad, rather than the 1,500 people that are actually going to open up that map and look at it.
There's so many ways that people are gonna try to reach out to take advantage, but there's also a whole lot of ways that we can avoid. Like you've done that. There's a there's a company that rhymes with Whelp that I did one time and it was awful, straight terrible, wasting money,
Yeah.
didn't get anything out of it. I did some other stuff for free, got like 7 transactions. I was like, oh, hold up, that worked way better. So we
Yeah.
can keep a lot more money in our pocket based off of things that we know don't work.
Yeah, exactly. And just having people that have been in the business a little while can help sort of guide you through to saying, for me personally, I used to do direct mail all the time, and I used to have a great amount of success with it.
Oh,
It's a little
nice.
bit it's a little bit on the expensive side right now, so I'm just kind of holding back, and I'm
Yeah.
actually, seeing a good amount of success with meta ads, like Facebook ads and stuff,
Hmm.
but direct mail works too. I believe in it. it's a little on the expensive side, to be truthful. So that's why I'm kind of pushing my money towards Meta and Facebook ads instead right now. But there's lots of different things that work. It's just what works for you and your community and your area, right? And what is it that you're trying to promote? Because it comes down to that too.
Exactly. Like I said, there's so many ways that you can use to be successful. We both know a bunch, right? But also, even in the eXp library, there's a bunch of ways that they can tell you that are tried and true that actually get you in there. Like you can learn. The cool thing is, if you're not icon yet, you can learn from people who are, right? Because they've got things in the icon library. There's so many tools and resources where it's like it's kind of hard to fail if you actually look for it.
One thing too that I will say is you can go into a content coma. And I'm actually going to be writing a book about this because it's true. We have so much coming at us. It's like drinking from a fire hose. We've just got it all. You just need to know what it is that you're looking for. And you need to actually just focus in on that, one tool or that one skill or whatever, and just work on that and then master that skill and then go on to the next thing. Because I am a prime example of drinking from the fire hose and having like 3 or 4 coaches at one time and all of these things. Like, it's not necessary. It is not necessary.
True. Can't be content addicts. We got to be execution addicts.
Yes.
The more you execute, the more results you're going to get.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time today, Josh. We had a great conversation. I love just hearing people's stories, and I always say it's not just everybody kind of knows my story. So it's nice to hear it from other people and show them that I'm not just talking out of my butt. Like, there's other so successful realtors like yourself who are having an amazing experience with eXp, and it could be great for you. Maybe it's not, but at least we want to shed light on the possibility that it can be. And we don't want you to miss out on an opportunity, because I know, like I said earlier, the only regret I have is just not moving over sooner. And I wish that somebody, and that's the thing, I went and seeked eXp. eXp didn't come seeking me. So, here is your sign. If you've been looking for a sign, here's your sign.
Exactly. Stop looking. You don't have to look no more. Okay. We're about to make it real easy for you. Go ahead and sign up. We can give you the join link. It's real quick and simple. And again, Michelle, I appreciate you so much for having me today. I'm glad that we got to make this connection. From workplace to real life to webcams. From workplace to webcams. Let's go.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. You have an amazing day.
You too.
All right.